As a rhythm game developer, I really like to keep an eye out for what other games are doing in the industry and to kind of see what I'll never be able to achieve. And I've got to say that this has got to be one of the most innovative and just brilliant games I've seen in a while. It's called Metal Hellsinger, and it's a mesh of Doom, or an FPS, and a rhythm game where you need to sync your shots to the song to make sure that they are doing maximum damage. And I mean, stuff like this is exactly why I got into making rhythm games, because I think that we could be doing so much more than just arrows and bars in the genre. In this video, I kinda want to explore what makes the game tick for me from the perspective of a game developer, as well as what I think has allowed them to mesh these seemingly unmeshable genres. It's important to start on the most fundamental level. I might be wrong, but I think in one sense or another, everyone who's played Doom 2016 or Doom Eternal wanted this game to exist. Those games have a sick game flow, amazing soundtracks, and you just naturally get into a groove while playing them. There's an interview with the developer of this game where he talks about his moment of inspiration.
There was this idea that I had from playing Doom 2016. It's like a rhythm shooter that's like playing a metal album come to life. I think that's what my pitch was. It's Doom and plus Rock Band.
And as I'm watching this, I remember myself playing Doom 2016 thinking that it would be cool if the game was synced to the music. So when I heard about this game, I was like, hell yeah, I'm glad someone finally made that. So, number 1. Great game idea. This is not easy to execute though, because when you're trying to make Doom, but it's a rhythm game, you still need to be able to make a shooter that's at least close to how good Doom is, which I think they were able to achieve in a lot of ways. The game flows really well, it's high mobility, there are fun weapons, challenging enemies, glory kills, there's cool environments, and an engaging story. My only real gripe here is the boss fights. I don't want to spoil too much, but there's really not that much variety here. Regardless, Metal Hellsinger succeeds in creating an experience that's super comparable to the Doom games. So, number 2, good shooter mechanics. I think this is something that I, as a game developer, need to think about more often. You can add rhythm mechanics to other genres, but if the base game is garbage, rhythm elements are not going to save it, and it's getting uninstalled faster than Kanye's getting banned off Twitter. So how do you add rhythm game elements to a shooter exactly? I think Metal Hellsinger does it really well. The base is very simple. You have a beat tracker in the middle of the screen, and when you see an arrow reach the center is when you're supposed to shoot to maximize the damage and increase your score combo. This is not very different from what Crypt of the Necrodancer did for its movement mechanic. Matter of fact, I did this for my Crypt of the Necrodancer clone game, and if I can do this, that means it's very basic. But I think the genius here lies in what they did with all of the downtime from shooting enemies that you get while traversing the map. For that, they gave you the skull side weapon that you can continuously shoot to keep up your combo multiplier and to keep yourself in the rhythm. So when you finally get enemies to shoot at, you can maximize that sweet damage and still have rounds left in your main weapons. The important part here, I think, is that they don't force rhythm game mechanics on the players as much as other rhythm games. Here, rhythm is only half the equation, and they treat it as such. You don't have to be perfect at either the FPS aspect or the rhythm aspect of the game to beat it. If you're looking to progress on the leaderboards, getting better and better at the rhythm and accuracy is the way to do it, but if you just want to enjoy the great story and get into the flow of the game, you don't have to become a freaking human metronome. So, number 3, good balance of rhythm game mechanics. We're going to start wrapping up here because I did just want to look at this from the game design perspective, but there's a bunch more things that this game has going for it. It's got a really good soundtrack, and the game developers ended up collaborating with a lot of metal artists to make this game possible. The story is freaking amazing. It's got intrigue, plot twists, characters you end up caring about. You really don't get much of that in rhythm games, it seems. And finally, they really are on top of free updates. The game released 3 months ago, and as I was making this video, they came out with a big update with a new difficulty, weapon skins, and most importantly, they added biblically accurate angels. These things look freaking cool. I wonder why they don't use them in pop culture more often. But anyways, thank you for watching, and if you're curious about my own struggles with rhythm game development, you should check out some of my other videos. I'll see you next time. Oh, and subscribe or else the biblical angel will visit you.